In this video, we are going to take a look at how to do the fishbone stitch, which is commonly used for leaves in embroidery patterns. So to do that, you're going to need to anchor your thread first. So you'll do that by making a tiny little stitch at the top of your leaf shape and then coming up again through that original hole that you made. Then to start the fishbone stitch, just make one large stitch from the top of your leaf to about the middle, and you'll pull that through all the way, and then you'll come back up following the outline of your leaf just to the left of the very top where that first stitch was. And then you will cross that over and take it to the middle right hand side of the outline and pull that through, and then come over to the middle left hand side of the outline and then go up again to the right of the outline at the very top where that original stitch was. So this is kind of the pattern that you're going to follow for the fishbone stitch. So then you'll start again over on the top left, move down to the right hand side, going below where your last stitch was, again going below on the left hand side, and then back up to the right hand side. So you'll just keep making this over and over and over again until you have filled in your fishbone pattern. So with this one, because you're just kind of like weaving them in and out of each other, it's just important to try to keep things symmetrical. Sometimes it can be a little hard not to get ahead of yourself on the right or the left. So maybe the right side, you're making the stitches lower than what you're making them on the left side. Just try to keep those as symmetrical as possible as you're going, and that'll keep your line that you'll see forming down the middle of your leaf pretty even and straight. And you also want to just make sure that you're doing your stitches actually on the outline, and that will just make sure that the outside edges of this leaf pattern that you're creating are nice and smooth. But other than that, you're just repeating the same pattern of top left to bottom right, bottom left to top right, over and over and over again, just crossing over one another to create the fishbone pattern. So you'll notice as you keep filling things in that eventually you're going to be making stitches over stitches that already exist, and that's perfectly normal, and it actually is what creates kind of a raised look to the fishbone stitch. So whenever you're all finished, you'll notice that the stitches aren't just flat against the fabric, but they are raised up off of the fabric. So it's pretty cool, kind of three-dimensional look. So when you finished up and have done your last stitch, you're going to want to tie it off. So you'll flip it over to the back and just slip your needle up under a couple previous stitches and do that 2 times, and then on the second time you will slip your needle up under the loop that you've created and pull that tight. And then you can just clip those off and also clip off any other threads that are loose back there, just to kind of clean up the back a little bit. And that is how you do your fishbone stitch. So I hope you've enjoyed this and that it's been helpful. If you have any questions, just leave them down in the comments, and you can download any pattern that you want to work on with this new stitch at thistleandthreaddesign.com. Thank you.